Picture this. It's a Sunday night in January. You've just looked at your credit card balance for the first time in a while, really looked at it, and something clicks. You decide, this is the year. No more takeout, no more subscriptions, no more anything. You're going to cut everything down to nothing and throw every spare dollar at this debt until it's gone. And it works for about 6 weeks. Then one Thursday, you have a bad day at work. Your friend texts about dinner and you think, I've been so good, I deserve one night, and then it's 2 nights, and then the budget is gone. And then you feel so guilty you stop looking at your finances altogether, which is somehow worse than where you started. If that sounds familiar, I want you to hear this clearly. That is not a you problem. That is a design problem. The standard debt payoff advice is built like a punishment, and your brain is literally wired to escape punishment. Here's the number that should actually make you angry. The average American household carrying credit card debt pays over $1,000 a year in interest alone. Not the debt, not the principal, just the fee for having the debt. That's money that disappears every 12 months and buys you nothing. So today, we're going to fix the design. I'm going to show you 2 ways to pay off debt. One that is mathematically optimal and one that is psychologically optimal. And by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly which one your brain actually needs. My name is Max, and if this is your first time here, I make calm, no-hype personal finance videos every week. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Let's start with the thing nobody says out loud. Debt is not a morality problem. You are not a bad person because you have a credit card balance or a car loan or student loans. Debt is a math problem with a psychology layer on top of it. And if you only solve the math without understanding the psychology, the math falls apart every time. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The reason most debt payoff plans fail isn't that people aren't trying hard enough. It's that the plan is asking your brain to sustain a behavior that produces no visible reward for months or years. Your brain is not built for that. It is built for feedback loops, small wins, signs that what you're doing is working. When a plan produces nothing but restriction and silence, your brain eventually registers it as a threat and shuts it down. That's not weakness. That's neuroscience. So the question isn't, how do I get more disciplined? The question is, how do I build a payoff system my brain will actually cooperate with? And this is where the 2 methods come in. Method 1 is called the debt avalanche. With the avalanche, you list all your debts and sort them from the highest interest rate to the lowest. You make minimum payments on everything. Then you take every extra dollar you can find and throw it at the highest interest debt first. Once it's gone, you roll that payment into the next one. And so on until everything is paid off. The avalanche is the mathematically optimal method. It minimizes the total interest you pay over time. On a $12,000 debt across 3 accounts, the avalanche will typically save you a few $100s and a few months compared to paying randomly. Method 2 is called the debt snowball. With the snowball, you list your debts and sort them from the smallest balance to the largest, ignoring the interest rate completely. You make minimum payments on everything, then attack the smallest balance with everything you have. The moment it hits 0, that payment rolls into the next smallest. You build momentum. The snowball costs a little more in interest over time. On that same $12,000 example, you might pay $200 to $400 more total compared to the avalanche. That's the math penalty for using it. But here's what the math doesn't capture. The snowball produces a win, a real, visible, zero-balance win, much faster than the avalanche. Research by Harvard Business School found that people who used the snowball method were significantly more likely to stick with their debt payoff plan all the way to 0. Because behavior that gets rewarded gets repeated. Paying $400 more in interest to actually finish the race is a much better outcome than saving $400 in interest and quitting 6 weeks in. So which one do you use? Here's the honest answer. If your highest interest debt is also your smallest balance, use the avalanche. You get the win and the math benefit at the same time. If your highest interest debt is a big balance that's going to take 12 to 18 months to knock out, strongly consider the snowball. Give your brain a win first. Then let momentum carry you. Now let's run the numbers on a real example so this feels concrete. Say you have 3 debts. A credit card with a balance of $800 at 24% interest. A personal loan with a balance of $3,000 at 14%. And a car payment with a balance of $8,200 at 7%. Total, $12,000. You have $200 a month to put toward debt beyond your minimums. Snowball order. Credit card first, then personal loan, then car. Your $800 credit card is gone in roughly 4 months. That entire minimum plus your extra $200 now hits the personal loan. The personal loan is gone in about 11 months after that. Then everything rolls into the car. You're debt-free in around 31 months. The bigger point is this: $12,000 of debt gone in 2 to 3 years on $200 extra a month. That's not a miracle. That's just a system running without interruption. And here's the part of the video where I give you permission to do something the internet will tell you not to do. While you are paying off debt, you are allowed to spend money on your life. Not recklessly, not pretending the debt doesn't exist. But if you budget for a dinner out once a month, that is not failure. That is the design working. Because a plan you can maintain for 31 months is infinitely more valuable than a plan you can maintain for 6 weeks. The goal is a system you will actually follow, not a system that looks perfect on a spreadsheet. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Max, shouldn't I just be more disciplined? Shouldn't I cut everything and suffer through it? Sure, if that works for you, do it. Some people are wired that way. But here's the thing. If you are watching a video about how to pay off debt without hating it, you have probably already tried the full restriction approach. And it probably didn't finish. So discipline isn't missing. The right system is missing. Here's the recap. Debt is a math problem with a psychology layer. Solve both, or you solve neither. The debt avalanche saves the most money. Sort by highest interest rate first. The debt snowball builds the most momentum. Sort by smallest balance first. When the highest rate debt is also the smallest balance, both methods are the same. The framework is called track, stack, and attack. Track every balance and rate in one place. Stack your debts in order. Attack the top one with everything extra every month without stopping. Now picture the same Sunday night, 18 months from now. You open your phone, check your balances, and one of them says 0. That's not a fantasy. That's just math and a system you didn't quit on. Here's my question for the comments. Are you an avalanche person or a snowball person? Tell me which method you're using or which one you're going to try. I read every comment. If this helped, a like takes 2 seconds and it helps this channel more than you know. I'll see you in the next one.